players, the personalities who come from around the world to play professional soccer in the United States.
In a world where some call it football, football, or soccer, they dare to call it foosball. One thinks New York is blue, the other thinks New York is red. Soccer in America from a German perspective. Let them put some sauerkraut on your hot dog and join them for the Schnitzel Boys USA Hour.
Well, there it is.
It's the USA Hour.
The Schnitzel Boys.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa. We're starting over
How do I
again.
turn this off?
Turn
And
it
it's
off. Turn
And
it
it's
off. Turn it off.
It's off.
All right. Nice job.
Okay. Well, yeah, artisan, technical difficulties. It's all good. Hans Wolf is here in the chat. Please let us know.
Loopback let us down.
Please let us know if we sound the same, because we have no idea of knowing whether one of us is too loud or not.
I know.
So if we both sound loud and clear, Hans, let us know. Otherwise,
yes, please
let us know. But anyway, it is the...
You're back. You're back in the Red Room, in the Los Angeles Lounge.
That's right. I am in the Los Angeles Lounge. We're back to being bi-coastal, live from Hollywood, California, and Brooklyn, New York. New York City.
I haven't gone anywhere. I've been here this whole time.
That's not true. You went up hiking and marathoning, and you're in Vermont every 3 days. There's something.
Well, that's true, but most of the time I'm here in this very spot.
You know what? I should not challenge you. If you say you haven't gone anywhere, who might argue? Yes, sir. Yes, you've just been there the whole time in the office.
I've been here this whole time. How is it being back in beautiful California, Los Angeles? You had a pretty epic trip.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to re-enter reality.
True. And I am fun employed at the moment. But it's good because I'm now catching up on all these housing projects I always neglected. So I need to give my house a little TLC.
You live in a housing project?
I live in the projects. No, just a project for my house. It's a house. It's a decent little place. You've been here.
I've been to your house. It's very nice.
Yeah, a little apartment dealy over here. But yeah, for instance, I'm going to hardwire my computer Ethernet, and that requires a lot of. It's in the other rooms. I have to go over the, up and under and hammer to the wall and crap. So I'm doing that and putting stuff up my walls and just a bunch of stuff I've neglected. All these projects I'm like, I'm going to get to that, but then I never do. So it's time. Better quality food from European has you leaner, Stefan. Thank you. I agree. I ate like a king. It was delicious. and literally by the end of the month I was there, I felt much healthier. It was just like
you are looking pretty trim. It is
it's an illusion. I'm wearing a black shirt.
I mean, it's shocking considering that all you talked about is everything you ate. But
yeah, I flew currywurst. So I had a little bag of currywurst I bought from the grocery store, and I brought it down to Munich, assuming there'd be like a microwave there. There was no microwave anywhere to be had, so I just kept it in the fridge for a while. And then instead of throwing it away, I put it in my bag and I flew it to Los Angeles and I ate it last night and it was delicious.
Was it good?
Yeah, I was like, dang, they have this in a grocery store there.
Your microwave and you had a moment of reunion.
Yeah, well, my current microwave was nice. I made American French fries with German currywurst and it was lovely.
Amazing. Yeah, the Germans are not so big on the microwaves.
Yeah, and also fridges in general. Like drinks there are lukewarm and chilled. Drinks are chilled. Not like coming back to the United States.
Ice is everywhere in the U.S., not in Germany. That's true.
But when in Rome, like it wasn't a big deal for me. Although the bodega I went to in Munich all the time sold cold drinks. That's why I bought there a lot. But then when I returned them all to the Funt machine kept rejecting the bottles. It was weird. So I left a lot of Funt behind. But anyway, this is riveting stuff for the lip.
The logistics of European travel. Everybody is interested.
Let's just say that I had a blast in Europe, and also as a German American, some people in the chat, I think our clientele will understand this. It's nice to be in the motherland, you know. And I was having a great time in Bavaria, learning about castles and Ludwig II and the history and stuff they do not teach you at school here in the United States.
So you went to you end up going to what was Neuschwanstein like?
I went to 5 castles in Bavaria.
Oh my, that's like 5 too many.
I'm talking about, I had a blast. Neuschwanstein was lovely, but there's 2 in that area. 3 if you could go a little further.
So you were like, oh, I can hit another castle. Let's go.
Yeah, the way it works that day, this is typical German nonsense. You know, there's stuff I love, there's stuff I don't love. So I buy a ticket online, right? And then they give you all these appointment times, which I never understood. Like, what's the appointment at a museum for? You know what I mean? I'm like, what is that? I think I'm an American.
It's to manage so that not everybody shows up at the same time.
Exactly. So as an American, because the way American museums would do it, I'm assuming it's like a courtesy. It's like, yeah, 11:30. But I took public transit there. It took me 3.5 hours. Public transit is nonsense because it's totally uncoordinated. Like the train drops you off a minute after the bus leaves, and then you have to wait 30 minutes for the next bus. The bus does not wait for the train. And in my mind, I think that's nonsense. So it takes me for freaking ever to get there. I have this 11:30 ticket. I left my house at 7:45 in the morning to get there. And I get to the castle at 11:55.
And they're like, no castle for you.
That's exactly what she said. Exactly what she said. It's not even a person, it's a machine. It's a turnstile machine. And you have to scan your ticket, and it just says, falsche Zeit, wrong time. And then you're SOL. So a lady showed up. I'm like, oh, so I'm just 20 minutes late, but I want to go in. And she's like, sorry. That's not how that works. You're going to have to buy a whole new ticket with a new time. And I honestly, I think it's all sold out. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because the day before I went on the website, this was the only time available. I go on my phone, and sure enough, there's all these times available for the same day. So I'm like, well, that's a scam. So I had to buy a second ticket. Now here's the rub, Bjorn. In between
day of
castles,
is quite expensive.
Now it's the same price. However, you have to coordinate it. I also bought a ticket to Neuschwanstein. This is for Hohenschwangau, the older castle down the street.
Oh, the second castle.
And you have to coordinate it. There's 90 minutes between, because getting from one castle to the other is also a complicated transfer. So I booked the next tour at a half an hour, but I had to do it tight. I had to like tighten that tour, and then right when I was done, run right up and up over.
The lady was already looking at her watch. She was like, "Oh, is he going to make it this time? Am I going?"
The lady was very nice. She knew I was a little tight, so she stuck me into the tour beforehand. So I got to go to the castle before my new appointed time. But however, in my mind, I'm like, what a scam. If you miss your appointment, they should be able to take your already purchased ticket and just push you up to a newer time, right? In America, you'd be able to do that. But not here. It's the machines are in charge. Your ticket has to open the machine, or else you're not allowed inside. So I go in, and it's a castle. So it's a medieval castle. So I don't know why electronics are in charge. Anyway, I just made it. I did the Hohenschwangau tour. Lovely. Loved everything about it. And then busted my ass to run up to Neuschwanstein, where I just made my appointment with my pre-purchase ticket. The machine let me in, huffing and puffing and sweating. But I got to see Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein, if you plan to visit, don't go for another year or two, because half the castle's under construction.
All right.
And
done. No problem. Done. Already. That was already my plan anyway, to not visit in the next year or two.
Well, Bjorn, you don't have a yearn to touch your roots like I do.
I do not.
So when I came back to the United, so I was having dinner with a bunch of friends last night. The first time I saw people, typical American LA folk. I brought up this castle, and right away it made them think of the one thing they know about Germany. What do you think that is, Bjorn?
Sound of Music.
No, Hitler.
Sound
of Music is Austrian. I guess Hitler's also Austrian. And so right away that made them talk about Hitler, and they talked about Hitler for a long time. And I'm just like, I hate this. I need to go back to Germany, where we have like a 2,000-year history, and not everything's Hitler this, Hitler that. And it's nice. It's nice being in the motherland where it's more about who you are, not about.
When I grew up in Germany, it seemed to be all about Hitler at the time, but maybe that has changed.
When you were a kid, no one talked about castles and Ludwig and medieval times. Nothing.
No,
it's a 2,000-year-old civilization.
It's a 2,000. Germany is not 2,000. I mean,
yeah, it is ish. From when? From 880, 1,200-year-old civilization, whatever. From 880, from the Battle of Teutoburg, whenever that was. Let me look that up right now.
Okay. Well, there's a fort. There's a fort in my town that's about from that the Schloss Bruch. That's from like 800 something.
The Battle
Hans Wolf is giving you more credit for your physical activity. I think the lesson from all this should have been you shouldn't have gone to any of these castles, and you should have of Unterhaching against Düsseldorf, the cup game, which was a banger of a game.
Bjorn, I was on the way. Something I've learned about certain lower league games is getting there is very, very difficult. Because certain games, everything is built for it to be easy. Bayern München was pretty easy. Last year when I went to Mainz, it was pretty easy. But going to Nürnberg Schalke was so difficult. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. And then going to Unterhaching would have been the same thing because I was on a train from the castle to go to that part of München. But then the trains kept canceling or something, or they were too full or whatever. But anyway, I finally got on a train that was not full. You know what happened? Munich was closed that night or something. Like
Munich was closed?
Yeah, I've never had this happen on an American train. I took a train from Neuschwanstein to München on my way to Unterhaching to see the game. And then the train just stood still and was there for an hour with the electricity off. And the train conductor was like, the police closed the tracks. We still don't know why. We're asking. They're not answering. And then after an hour and a half, they just said, listen, we're going backwards. We're going back to where we came. We're turning the train around. We're going back to the source station. And the train went back to where I picked it up 3 hours ago. However, 10 minutes on the way back, it said the police opened up the lanes and everything's good to go again. But we're still going back. We're going to drop you off back at the source station, and you have to go figure out how to do it again with a local train. That's why. And then by the time I was in the Munich area, it was already halftime of the Unterhaching game. Wow. So I'm just like, I have to go home now. Yeah, but what can I do about that? The trains stopped.
So the trains let you down.
But
Munich,
like, honestly,
Munich was closed. This is like when David Letterman had a billboard outside the Holland Tunnel that said, "Attention motorists, New Jersey's closed."
I don't remember that.
That was a joke. Yeah, no, that was a thing for years.
Would have been controversial. But yeah, so Hans Wolf, I took the bus between castles. I took the bus up to the Marienbrücke, which was lovely. Got a great picture there. Then I walked out, but it was still quite the frickin'. It was still exhausting for me. Yeah, and like I don't know. Am I wrong? When shouldn't the train have stopped and then turned back around again to be like, oh, they open it up again? You know what? Forget our plan. We're now going back. But they would just say, no, we've already made the decision.
You should have just let them know how to do it.
Well, what is that? Turn around and go back. You know, I don't know.
I don't have an opinion. The trains have noticeably gotten worse in recent years. I definitely will have that observation from back in the day. They used to be frequent and reliable, and now less so.
When I was on my way to Nuremberg Schalke, when I was on my way to Nuremberg Schalke, I had to lie to the police to get on the platform. They don't have trains taking the game. They have police managing people at the station. Mm-hmm. So I snuck in. I said, I'm not here for the game, but I was. I just need to get up on the platform. Got up on the platform, and the train to the game never showed up. Everyone had to wait for the next one 20 minutes later, and there was no added shuttles or anything. It's like the entire train station's trying to get to this one game. I saw people crying. I mean, I got the whole story from the time. Maybe I'll save it for the second hour. But and then when the train finally showed up, this little rinky-dink train shows up, and then it comes the shoving match. Everyone's just pushing into each other. And I was in the front of the line, but I didn't get on the train. People were better pushers than me. And then by the time it was all done, I was odd man out, and the train doors closed and went to the game. So then I had to go find another train. I had to run to
we haven't heard this. You have harrowing train tales here.
A lot. I didn't even tell you.
A lot of bad train situations. And meanwhile, I took the train to Vermont and it was completely on time and it was very pleasant.
That's a
So
train?
the gap is closing. It used to be German trains are amazing, American trains are crap. The gap is closing.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, I will say it's hit or miss. Sometimes I've had amazing experiences because I did use the trains like every day. But then when it missed, and it missed in a really annoying way. Because the whole time I'm like, this is Germany. There's a huge game. Nuremberg versus Schalke. Where are the extra shuttles? Where are the buses? Why is it like the regular train schedule plus the cancellations? Like it's a Sunday midnight. And I don't know. Anyway, going back to the chat, Hans Wolf, did you walk up? I took the bus, but I did take the horse-drawn carriage to Hohenschwangau, which was a lot of fun. The horse-drawn carriage was a lot of fun. Hans Wolf, from even before the Poison united the German clans, ask a brewmaster. You should probably cross-reference German history with when the brews were flowing. Totally. I believe Weinstefan is the oldest brew in German-speaking world, still active today. Wasn't a running bus. The weekends I was there. So now Japan holds the record for only punctual train. Yeah, Japan's trains are excellent. I believe if you're late for work, they're so efficient that when you're late for work, the train will give you a permission slip. So you can give to your work that you were late for work.
Well, if only I was spending time in Japan recently, which I do not.
Have you ever gone skiing in Japan?
I've never been to Japan. I've never been to Asia, period.
I lived in Asia once upon a time.
You've lived everywhere.
I've been around. I've never been to Japan, though. I believe that might be my next large sojourn. But I don't know.
I would love to go skiing in Japan. But no, it's not going to happen this winter, I don't think. We'll see.
I had a real spiritual connection with Germany, though, so I'd like to go back as soon as I can.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you connected to your roots in that way.
Yeah. I saw I was there for a family reunion. It was my great aunt's 90th. She told us old stories.
Very nice.
Nice.
90 years. That's no joke. Good for her.
No. They live long. Good for them. But anyway.
Well, you know who else tried to connect with his roots and failed?
Emil Forsberg? What are we talking here?
Matt Miazga.
Oh, right. Matt Miazga just won MLS Defender of the Year. Good for him.
Yeah, Defender of the Year. I mean, I don't really care for these awards. I don't keep track. Was he really the best defender of the? I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's a little awkward because he also is probably facing a suspension, right? I hope so. By the way, you were very upset with me for my theory that he was completely sincere in his expressions of love to the Red Bull faithful. And he confirmed this in his post-game interview. I looked it up. He said he just told him that he loved him and he didn't understand why he would get a yellow card for that. And that's why he then went to the ref after the game to try and explain himself. And that's probably going to get him into more trouble, even though there's some dispute about that. The referee
dispute on who did it. He definitely
the referee association posted a thing saying that the player had to be forcibly removed from the locker room, and I witnessed
by staff, not by security. People said security. I think that's what was wrong. He was forcibly removed by stadium staff.
But I think there were some. I read some reports from eyewitnesses who said it was a little blown out of proportion. It's not like he had to be forcible, like he was just talking. He wasn't like coming at anyone.
What's up with you and Miazga? What is this Miazga apologist stuff coming from?
Well, I think I don't know if it's flattering. I think he's just an idiot. I think you were ascribing some like sort of pre-calculated trolling to him. I don't think he's that smart. I think he's just a very straightforward kind of impulse-driven dude. Anyway,
100% of his past behavior indicates that he was trolling that day. The only reason the story is he's being real is because he's trying to weasel his way out of an honest, good, deserved suspension.
I don't think so. I think he was sincere. I stand by this. Anyway,
speaking of suspensions, I've got one for you, Bjorn.
You're suspending me?
No, Kai Wagner got 3 games.
Kai Wagner got 3 games, and we'll
games.
never know what he said.
He said, we're not going to say this stuff out loud. So what happened was at the end of the game, him and Bobby Wood went at it, and he called Bobby Wood a German language racial slur towards Asians.
But do we know what it was?
No, but that's not what we'll talk about.
We don't know. Right.
He released an apology, and his apology was not an honest apology. His apology was A, I admitted my fault right away, and B, I said something I was mad in response to something very inappropriate he said to me first. That was his apology, which is not a real apology. That's what his statement. And because of that, he got 3 games. Now, Dante Von Zier got 6 games
for calling somebody a monkey.
For saying
calling a white person a
monkey business or something like that. Now, the difference they say is he initially denied it, and then he admitted to it later or something. But again, I'm confused with that whole story. It might have been he didn't know what was going on and then had to clarify what happened, but he didn't realize what was going on. Anyway, he got 6 games. Kai Wagner very openly looked at Bobby Wood and called him what we could only assume was a racial slur. We're not going to say them out loud, but we've maybe tossed them around. The people in the chat, the audience at home, can draw their own conclusions. And he only got 3 games.
I have no idea what he said. I don't even have anything in my head about what he might have said.
No, I don't know either. I don't know German.
Anyway.
But anyway, so he got 3 games. What do you think about that? You think it's justified or what? You think Bobby Wood should be punished?
I think these are. I don't think it's not an exact science. This language penalties for language. It's very hard to. I got nothing. I mean, I think it's tough. I think it's tough to do these, trying to police what people say to each other is difficult. I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. I'm not saying people should just be able to say whatever. I don't think that's the answer either, but I don't know. You're always going to find inconsistencies.
Well, the big talk is what is the MLS zero tolerance policy? And right now we're just openly, it's not like you said, it's not an exact science. Right now, zero tolerance means 6 games if you don't admit your fault, 3 games if you do admit your fault, or no suspensions twice if you're taxi fountas and you deny it in its entirety. You get no suspensions twice before you just pack up your stuff and leave to a league they'll let you swear more and do more slurs. So, it's not an exact science, but that did happen. Philly is still in it without Kai Wagner, though, which will be a big loss for them.
Right. And we'll see. We haven't heard anything about Matt Miazga. Is definitely suspended for the next game and perhaps more coming.
I believe there is an attempt to try to put it under review and allow him to play while the review is happening or something. I hope he doesn't weasel his way out of it. I'd love him to get suspended.
Man, how could you have no love left for your old player?
Watch the game tape.
I mean, you're not gonna convince me. I watched it live. It seemed obvious to me what he was doing. He was just
after the game. Watch him stick his tongue out at the fans and taunt them with all the other Cincinnati teammates. Watch the game tape. It's live in 1080p, mind you. You don't love the fans after you stick your tongue out of them and knock them out of the playoffs.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, listen, I got no dog in this fight. I just I just think it's funny. That's all. But and now he's defender of the year.
Your argument is he's the dumbest human being ever. That's okay.
No, not the dumbest.
He did it wrong.
Not the dumbest ever, but he's consistently been pretty shown his lack of sophistication. Anyway.
Okay, so Hans Wolf with some new slang. See, you're like an urban dictionary.
So you say no cap instead of trolling. You say capping. You're not capping. So Matt Miazga was not capping.
But I think he's capping. I wonder where that comes from. Where does capping come from?
I don't know. We're just taking Hans Wolf's word for it here. We're just picking it up. We were just picking up what he's putting down.
Anyway, going back to an older topic, I'm Googling the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, the founding of the German tribes, September 8th, 9 AD. That's literally 14 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Well, the first, not a whole lot to report of the first 1,400 years, though. But anyway.
You're throwing the plague. Come on now. There's plenty.
Should we talk about
we got a few things to talk about.
The most important evening in the history of MLS?
I know what you're referring to, but I want to refer to a different evening. I do want to talk about what we want to talk about, but first things first.
Oh, yes, we will. Oh, yes, we will.
Well, you and me are about to set our differences aside.
What differences? You just... Oh, the Matt. Yeah, you're upset about Matt. Okay.
No, Gotham.
Gotham.
Won New York Soccer Team of the Year. They won the championship.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. No, it was a great game. Hans Wolf, did you go? You didn't go, probably, right? But it was it was great. It was. I only watched interviews. So good. They were so good. I mean, really, a very, very convincing performance. A little sad. Megan Rapinoe tore her Achilles. Yeah, 4.5 minutes in, right? 4.5 minutes in the final game of her career, which also happened to be the championship final. Torn Achilles. That's horrible. So
and then she lost. She lost. But Gotham deservedly won, and the drama at the very end was so fun.
Oh my god, it was crazy. Yeah,
the keeper out of the box touching it with her hand, and they had a free kick, and they were given a couple extra minutes to maybe tie it up. But no, Gotham held tight. Gotham won. Gotham won, baby. And WSL champions, the New York, New Jersey Gotham. Now, Bjorn, riddle me this. Is it appropriate for NYCFC to tweet out how much they root for a team that plays at Red Bull Arena?
Sure, we play there too.
Well, they tweeted it out, and the fans who distaste that stadium, distaste New Jersey, they seem to be awfully proud of a New Jersey-based team in the New York, New Jersey Gotham. So I just want to, New Jersey, baby.
You're just looking to be upset with me.
That's Jersey. Well, I'm just offering banter. I'm excited today, Bjorn. You know why?
Tell me.
Because remember last week I made up a thing in my head where Emil Forsberg is going to come to New York.
Oh yeah, he's coming. It looks like he's coming.
It was announced today via Bill that seems like that's actually going to happen.
It's going to happen this winter. He wants to move to America for long-term. They kept emphasizing that it was a long-term. How old is he? Is 32. He not like... Okay, 32. I guess he's got a couple of years left, hopefully, for you. Yeah, he's going to be good, probably. Going to be decent, maybe.
I mean, if it's Hart's in it, and he plays like Danny Royer, I want it. I'll take it. I love it.
I don't want it. You wouldn't want it to be too long-term, this contract. at 32, but like what are they gonna 2 years, 3 years,
2-3 seasons?
But no, he would be good. He would be good.
And the reason it's big because Aid's a big player, the kind of player I want, like an experienced, proven player, a real goal scorer coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening now in mid-November. Usually we hear nothing.
Yeah. There were some I think it was Blue Balls, the NYCFC podcast on Twitter, tapping their metaphorical watch at our front office, being like, "What are you doing?" So I guess you have the advantage for a day.
Usually, the way a Red Bull offseason goes is you hear nothing for 2 months, and then one of the managers goes missing, and you're like, "Was he fired 3 days ago?" And then they don't release a story about it. And then all of a sudden you're like, where was and then there's some new guy I've never heard of who's in office in February. And then about 2 weeks in the season, they announced the signing of a 15-year-old Bosnian kid or something like that. And that's usually how a Red Bull offseason goes. But no, there was an apology letter. We didn't even talk about this. Marta Grandpré and Joachim Schneider, the business manager and the sporting director, emailed all the fans an apology letter and said, I am sorry. The last few seasons have not been up to par. We are going to work hard this offseason and invest in this team and bring up stuff. And those are just words. But then a week later, Emma Forsberg's here. So it's like, okay, this is the first of a few, I hope. And it looks like it's happening. So, Seba asked, "What up, my brother? I'm a little late. I'm just talking about the Emil Forsberg arrival and how the apology letter and how it's looking like the New York Red Bulls offseason, which, as I stressed earlier, was the most important thing about what's going on in the New York Red Bulls right now. It looks like it's happening, and it's going, and it's happening. So, knock on wood, it keeps going on. God will keeps going on.
All right.
Okay, now that I got that out of the way, talk about the night of all night.
I mean, we don't need to get too we don't need to talk about too much. This was an unexpected treat. Not Shador. We made fun of it last week for happening. Not Shador, which even just the title broke new ground by combining French and Spanish in one, because Noche is Spanish, Ballon d'Or is French. So Noche d'Or is the Golden Night, I guess, but it's a French Spanish mashup. So anyway, they so to celebrate, to recap, they celebrated. MLS just wanted more Messi. Needed more Messi. Miami didn't make the playoffs. Playoffs are happening. Needed more Messi. Messi got the Ballon d'Or, so they came up with this thing, Noche d'Or, to celebrate Messi's award. And so who could they get for an opponent? They got NYCFC. NYCFC is also not in the playoffs, and we just did not roll over as we were supposed to. And I just kind of tuned in and was like, oh, well, this is sort of stupid. Let's see what happens. And it was really the best game perhaps we've played all season. I don't know if that's there's
no pressure.
Might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but we came in aggressive. We fielded our sort of best 11. James Sands was not around. I don't know if he's hurt or something, but other than that, it was a good lineup. And Thales Magno had what probably was his best game in an NYC. I mean, not that this counts; it's a friendly, whatever. But he was great. He had a goal and an assist. And not only did we beat them, there was also some tussling at the end. I guess the Miami defenders there was a guy named Sailor playing center back who just had a really horrendous evening. And Kamal Miller got a little testy and started fouling people. And then Santi Rodriguez, our number 10, took exception to that. And there was some pushing and shoving and posturing, and in the end, Messi stalked off without shaking anybody's hand. He was pissed. Young Andres Jason asked him for his jersey, and Messi shook his head and just walked off into the locker room. And I mean, it was just a thing of beauty. I don't know. I just didn't expect this level of entertainment for this stupid friendly on a Friday night. It was just a sheer delight. I mean, we saw a bunch of teams. We saw a bunch of teams in games that mattered in the Leagues Cup or just roll over at the side of Lionel Messi, and it was nice to see that my team was not going to do that, even in a meaningless friendly. They had enough of a chip on their shoulder to cause a little pain to the Miami crowd.
All right, the big question is, what is the next? If Messi has a baby, there's going to be Baby Fest 2024. What other type of events for Messi friendlies?
Noche de baby.
We have Noche de Infant.
Noche de New Year. There's probably going to be a January 2nd. We're going to have Noche New Year. Then we'll have Noche de preseason probably.
Noche de Dia, the night of the day, day. Noche preseason. What type of Lil Messi event?
Noche de coffee. Messi drinks coffee.
It's
going to be a coffee night.
Coffee night, and then
whatever other notches they come up with. I don't think they're gonna invite NYCFC again anytime soon. For one of those.
Yeah, they gotta get.
Sebas S is saying he thinks NYCFC will bounce back next season. I mean, this made me feel extremely optimistic.
Well, it's with the same players though. Who do you need?
we're going to need. Well, we do need another 9.
9.
Munsif Bakral missed a couple of sitters in this game too. He seems he seems a pretty medium number 9. So we need somebody else. We're going to need some midfield. We're going to need a little more midfield depth. Although Andres Perea, who was on loan from Philadelphia, and I thought there was no chance that he would remain, but he's still with the team. Most of the people that were whose contracts were ending were not around, but he's still with the team. He started this game, and the commentators were saying that NYCFC is going to make a real effort to sign him. So that would be great. He was really a good pickup, and I did not think that was a possibility. So that was good news. I mean, we'll see what happens. Midfield depth. We need another center back. Probably fullback. We need fullback upgrades and another 9. Yeah, that's there's a bunch of open spots. But it was nice to see Thales Magno firmly established on the left side, really playing well there, not playing the 9. Julian Fernandez scored another goal. I don't know. He's sort of an odd. He walks around like he doesn't know what day it is, and then all of a sudden he finds these bangers. So yeah. Anyway, there's a good core there. Perhaps Matty Freeze, our goalie, made the save that he's going to tell his grandkids about when Messi got his one shot on goal, and he had a pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. It was just whatever. I'm not gonna build a castle of dreams on this one friendly, but it was just it was a late season treat. I had a great time.
Ludwig II would 100% build a castle of dreams on that thing, but as crazy as he. Well, that was fun. I missed it. It was a friendly. I was busy watching Seattle Dallas or whatever was going on that night.
actual games of consequence. No, that game was after. Come on now, I watched that too.
But I'll be honest with you. How engaged are you that your team is not involved? Like I'm watching the highlights. Maybe now that's one and done. I'm going to be watching every game. But the 3-game series, all of them, I haven't been in and out. I've been in and out. I have been watching.
I've watched a good amount. I've watched a good amount of it. I mean, the format is weird, right? This is not. This can't be the final word in terms of format, right? It's a little bit like. I mean, it's like as if they now just realize that this first round took 2 weeks and Christmas is coming, and they're like, oh, we got to hurry up. We got to make everything else single elimination. It's like the Memorial Day badminton tournament in a way. It's like, oh, dinner's almost ready. Let's go one set for the final. We got to speed this up. Like, it's weird, right? It's like 2 weeks for the.
I'll take your word for it on the Memorial Day badminton tournament. I understand what you're saying. You say the clam bake's ready, so one set.
It's like it's like you do the thing, and then dinner's ready. It's like, oh, we got to wrap this up. Right, so just the final, just do one set. Like, well, this feels like that a little bit.
They have to. It's like this every year in the playoffs. They have a big internet. They have 2 weeks off till the games start again.
Right, that's the thing. But it's like the first round took them 2 weeks. There was like 11 days between games, and it was extremely spread out. Now there's the international break, and then it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend. Is the next time they play. So at that point, they're running out of time. So then it has to be single elimination. But it's not a coherent format.
Well, I mean, the only upset we had was Sporting KC, right? Everybody else,
the top team won, which is, I guess, to be expected, right? Like if you have a little room for error, the better team will prevail. I mean, I guess now it's all fun. It's single game. So we have Orlando at home against Columbus, Cincinnati at home against Philly, Houston against SKC, Seattle at LAFC. I mean, these are all good matchups. These are all good. This is all quality from now on. But I mean, now we only have 7 games left after this kind of very disorienting and endless first round. Now we got 7 games left total.
That's right. It's no, it worked. But I'll tell you, I love the one and done. I'm looking forward to these next games. I'm reserving judgment. I'm not. I don't. I didn't think the best of 3 was that big of a deal. Thought it was fine. However, if your team is not involved, it is a lot of soccer between two teams, and it's just like I have to watch a third game between these guys. So, but if you're involved, like when my New York Red Bulls, if they would have won that penalty shootout and go to Cincy, that would have been all about it. But for a neutral, watching 3 full games is a lot. Is asking a lot, I think. But
it's
timing wise,
it's a lot of penalties too. I don't know.
True. That's Houston, Real Salt Lake had 2 games ending in penalties in a row, I believe. Right? It was the Houston win, then RSL wanted penalties at home, and Houston wanted penalties on the 3rd game back. I mean, I like watching penalties. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot. Yeah, but timing wise, it's just this November break is always going to be there. That September break is always going to be there. They have to figure it out around those breaks every year, and this might be a good idea because it's like I don't know, the one and dones don't start until the break is over, and I don't know. They can't play soccer during the second half of November, or the middle of November. That's always going to be true. So they have to figure out.
Yeah, there's always the international break. It's and I mean with this like Leagues Cup in the middle, it's all. But the NBA is doing this too now. The mid-season tournament, I don't know. This stuff's not going away, so we'll see. We'll see how this shakes out. I thought it was fine. Also, the first round was fun. But
how about this for an idea? Do what NFL does. Send the games to Germany. Have all the playoffs in Frankfurt.
The NFL does not do that. They don't play playoff games.
They played regular season games over there, not playoff games. But still, I say screw it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Seba S. I personally.
I mean, NYCFC. We'd play. I mean, we've played home games in Connecticut. We might as well go to Germany.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Only NYCFC goes to Germany.
We've played home games in LA. Germany's not that much further.
Yeah, totally.
Sebas S likes the best of 3.
But he wants to go back to single elimination. So.
It makes the regular season matter more. How is that, though?
I have no idea. But I think the regular season would matter more if it's not 9 teams, if they squeeze it to 7 to 7.
Oh, if you had fewer, sure. But I think the 3 games, this 3-game series in a way favors the higher seeded team. I think it upgrades the value of seeding and the regular season. I would think.
Yeah, I buy that. I agree with that. I think the 3-game series makes seeding matter more. I agree with that.
I mean, like you said, we only had one upset, and that was by the team who was the best team statistically in the league since May.
Right.
Sporting Kansas City. And everybody else, the higher seeded team did prevail. So in a way, I guess it is, in that sense, it is a pretty good mix between making the seeding matter, making the regular season matter, and then also giving everybody some games. It's a little bit almost like the group stage in the World Cup. Like once you're in, you get at least one home game, and then but still having some like single game excitement later. Yeah, maybe this is the perfect mix. I don't know. We'll find it. We'll see how these single elimination games go.
Yeah, all in all, it worked fine for me. I don't have any big complaints about it. So, all right. Maybe we'll see it again next year.
I mean, the Memorial Day badminton tournament's always a big hit, even though the rules kind of change as we go.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it. I have not been invited to the Memorial Day badminton.
Oh, is that?
Where is this, out in the Hamptons? Where we?
No, it's upstate. It's at Lake George. It's the Lake George.
No, not around here. Around here, I go to. What do I do around here? I go to. I don't know what I go to. I go to Coachella Invitational out here. I go to out in the middle of the desert.
That's where the preseason is. Did you see that? NYCFC already said they're part of it.
New York Red Bulls are part of it. So
everybody's excited. Yeah, maybe I'll come out. I don't know.
I was there last year. I had a blast. Yeah, if you come out, you can sleep on my couch. You can go out there.
Perhaps.
I had a good time out there last year, so I'll do it again this year. But this time I'll try to bring sunscreen. I want to burn the top of my head. But anywho, We've got the big games left. I guess anybody can win it. For me, I'm looking at LAFC, I'm looking at Philly, and I'm looking at Cincy.
Yeah, I mean, although if they already got Haglund out, so if Miazga really misses the rest of the year, they're going to have a hard time. That's both of their starting center backs. They don't have a lot left there, so that's going to be tough.
Philly's without Kai Wagner, they'll remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe Philly has better cover for that. I don't know, but you never know. Playoffs, baby! It starts in 2 weeks. First, we got USA versus Trinidad and Tobago twice, not once, but twice.
Well, it's two countries. Everybody's got to get a turn. They're going to play Trinidad one time and Tobago the other time.
I believe that is how that works. They are our bogey team. We lose to them too much. We're without Christian Pulisic. We're without Tyler Adams. We're without someone else. I forgot who it was. One or two others. Johnny Cardozo just pulled himself out.
Pulisic, Tim Weah.
Tim Weah is out. So a couple big names are out, but we got young Leonard Maloney from Heidenheim. We got Christopher Lund from somewhere. I forgot where is he from. Brøndby? Somewhere. We're going to see them get another run out. We got 2 games against Trinidad. Hopefully, we should be able to handle this on our way to Copa America this summer, which I am excited about. Cool. I think that's U.S. soccer. There's plenty of other stuff.
Let's go.
Right? Is it time to hop into Deutschland? Talk about Seba's Mainz. Got a scoreless draw. Bochum got a draw. Bayer Leverkusen. Team in the tournament. Oh, Seba, getting some sleep. Well, good night, Seba S. We'll miss you in the Germany hour.
All right.
But for the rest of us, we are on our way out. Hold on. Let me figure this out here.
The music. Yeah, because Lupak let us down.
It's going to be a little bit different. Here we go.
Hi.